Willie D Live.
And so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to
Absolutely.
your studio. And I think it's very, very, very classic. Before we start, I seen you had different pieces of equipment up there that I have not seen in a while. I seen some classic equipment, recording things in there. Are you a collector, brother?
No, but
or what?
that would be Mario. That would
Oh,
be
okay.
yeah, that
All
would
right.
be
All
Mario
right.
stuff. Mario is into collecting. Mario is one of those old school cats that keep the classic stuff alive.
Right,
You
the
know.
authenticity, the
Yeah,
quality. I could not
yeah,
believe the condition it was in too.
yeah,
So
yeah. We got to do our part, man, and to not just be flies on the wall. We got to be intentional about making sure that people remember, who started what. They got to remember the foundation.
yes,
You
sir.
know, uh, oftentimes we just sit back and we just watch, we observe, and we complain about what's going on in music or whatever. But we can actually do something about it. We can do our part by making sure people don't forget the people who laid the foundation. Like I'm doing my part right now,
Hmm.
like having a conversation with you.
And I
You know,
appreciate that.
one of the guys who, you know, put a few bricks in the house of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
how does one come from Barbados and end up in New York City uh, making hip hop with a guy from London? how does how does that happen? Well,
Man,
hold on. I know how it happened. Well, it started out on
and
8th
that
Avenue
avenue.
when you made up the name called the Get
Get
Fresh
fresh crew.
Crew. It
What?
was you, your two DJs,
Chilla Barry
Chill
B.
Will, Chill
Right
Will
hand
Barry B,
man.
and your right hand man, Ricky
Ricky
D,
D.
who
That's
is
right.
known as Slick Rick today.
That's right.
Yeah, man, and you used to rap and sing, make sounds and things. For example, here's a telephone ring.
Is Willie D there? Okay, good.
Say, man, I just had to do that. Has anybody ever did that before?
Nobody. Only
It was
you.
right
Only
there,
you.
man. It was like right there. I was like, I'm gonna get him with this
Only
one.
you, bro. Only you, man.
Yeah.
But I tell you, man, it's all of us have a story. Everybody has a story, and to me, everybody's story is important because sometimes when you hear that story, you can see yourself in the story.
Mm.
And my story is really just I come from a West Indian family from Trinidad, from Barbados. Grandfather comes to America, wants to do something good for his family. My great grandma and my grandfather probably met at Crop Over, which is a celebration in Barbados, or it could have been at Carnival, which is in Trinidad. I never got the true full story on that part, but the connection, and then the family starts building in Harlem, and he starts to build so much, and you're around music, food, culture. And remember, Harlem was the rise of black people. Everybody was migrating to Harlem because they seen it as the land of opportunity. So I think that from the Caribbean, they came because they knew and they wanted us to be raised around that kind of celebration of us being us, by us, working with us. So long story short, I went to school there, man, and I mean, and I was raised there, and my brothers and sisters and all of them contributed to me learning about hip hop. And when I learned about it, a lot of people may not know because some people got into knowing who I was when the show came out. But before the show, I was already very popular on the East Coast because of me creating the beatbox. And also when I did the movie Beat Street with Harry Belafonte, and made much respect to him because he
Mm-hmm.
just transitioned,
R.I.P. Harry
you know.
Belafonte.
And he was very instrumental in me being in that movie And he said, look, when we do this movie, I need this guy in it. Like he's seen something in me that he wanted me in this movie. And Harry Belafonte is the continuation of Paul Robeson, who was the poet, the actor, the singer, and the activist. So he's that continuation. And as I connected with him, I feel like I'm the continuation, meaning because I agree with that style of being, using all your gifts. And I thought that what you said when you opened up here was brilliant because, you using your gifts to uplift your people and making them aware, and all people. But if you don't use the gift for that, I think in a way, it's kind of like a waste of the gift. You know what I'm saying? So me doing hip hop has been bigger than me just doing hip hop. The contribution I made to hip hop is bigger than just me. It's about making it so that everybody know how possible the impossible is. Because it was impossible. Nobody thought that this was possible, especially when you create something that didn't even exist. The beatbox only came out, that part, the fifth element in hip hop, only came because of, just the necessity. Like I say, necessity is the mother of invention. So, they cut the music program in my school, and I used to play the trumpet. And when they cut it, I replaced the trumpet with the beatbox, and I started just creating it. And then after that, practicing. You know how you used to practice rhyming in there, and the DJ would be cutting it up, and y'all just be practicing when they break the music down. And I don't know how wide your audience is, but they may remember a cassette tape. You know what I mean? So you put the tape in there, and we make tapes, and we would practice. And in between the practice, Barry stopped the music with Will, and I just started beatboxing. And they was like, yo, what is that? Yo, that's crazy. Then his mother commented on it and said, what was that? That was a nice beat. He said, Ma, that wasn't a beat. That was him.
Huh.
And then after that, she said, well, I don't know what it was, but it was nice. And then she left out the room. And he said, yo, do that again? Yo, you know what? You should call that the human beatbox. I said, I'm not doing that. Come on, man. That's just crook. I'm not doing that. He said, I'm telling you, man, do it in the big park at a jam. Because we used to do jams outside,
Well, I bet you when you did that for the first time, you tore that house
Willie,
up.
It was so crazy. Willie, I can't even, brother, you know how real we keep it. I can't even explain. And then he said, do it now. And he brought it down, and I started doing it. I said, I got this thing called the human beatbox. Check this out. And I hit it. So everybody from the projects, from the streets, from all of them was like, yo, this is crazy. And then from there, my name started to it was like an electrical shock because you had the DJ, they knew about that. You had the MC, which is the master of ceremony, which is different than the rapper. Because the MC used to have to know how to create the energy. Then you had the graffiti artist, you had the break dancer, electric boogie. But then for this fifth element to come in there, it was kind of like a shock. But you would think about it, when you and your boy be walking down the street, one of y'all be rapping, and the other one is trying to figure out what is he going to do to participate. You know what I'm saying? So then Rick heard about me, and my name was like shooting through all over. And then he kept following me everywhere I go. Yo, I'm nice, man. I'm nice. And I'm like, yeah, okay, man, I know you nice. I seen it, but, you thinking he only got one rhyme. Sometimes when somebody say they nice, you know how it is. It's like that rhyme was good, but what else you got? So one day I went to Will's house, and we went up there, and I seen him. He seen me in the street. Like, we just bumped into each other in a very interesting way because I was going from a show. I brought him to the house. He started rhyming. I said, oh, no, he's nice. I said, he's nice. And then he turned around, and everybody was in the room, and we was listening to him. After it was over, he said, I told you I was nice. like that, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, that's when I said, yeah, you Ricky D. I said, but your name is Slick Rick. And that's how it all started.
You gave him that name the first day you met him?
I gave him that name after I heard him rhyme.
Okay, after, yeah, right.
After I heard him
Yeah.
rhyme, I said, this guy's style is so different than, most people's style that I heard. And then he came from London and, when he connected, and then his family is from Jamaica. He's from Jamaica. So we kind of got into this whole vibe and started hanging out and started working together. As you know, when you first connect with someone, you see how the energy matches. And, from there, because I was already in motion, I took money that I was making. First, I started putting them on shows with me. And when I started putting them on shows with me, we did Lodi Dodi a year or two before it ever came out. So when people hear it on record, we were already doing that at shows. And there's a part 2 to Lodi Dodi that we never let out. We would do it live, but we didn't do it because he said a joke about Vanessa Williams and we didn't want to disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? So we pulled it back. Now, cats don't care about disrespecting nobody on the record. You know what I mean? But we felt like, nah, we're not going to go there. Vanessa Williams is still Vanessa Williams. We appreciate her. So we did the song in a way where I had to go and do shows. And I kept saving up the money. And I saved up like 10 grand. And then I went into the studio and I told him, I said, yo, I got this idea called The Show. He said, that sounds whack. I said, wait a minute, let me tell you how it go. He said, tell me. And I started giving him the idea. And then he said, yes. I said, well, just trust me, just work with me. I said, and if it's whack, we just come up with something else. So I came up with the idea. He started working with me. Then when the show was done, he was happy about what it turned into, you know what I mean? And then we just put Lodi Dodi on the other side because we did it all the time. And actually, my manager at the time, he said, what's that thing that y'all do? Because all the kids are talking about it in school. And we said, Lodi Dodi. He said, maybe y'all should do that too. And we did it, and boom. And then when we let it out, it's been crazy, Willie. It was crazy. And the part that was the most craziest in it, just to give you the last little piece on this, is that we took it to Profile Records. You remember Profile Records, right? Mm-hmm. And Profile Records was the mecca at that time on hip hop because they had Run DMC.
Yeah, Dana Dane, Run DMC.
Right. So what happened is I took it to them, and they said, nah, this record is garbage, man. They said both of these records is garbage.
Really?
Well, he said both of them is garbage. He said, and after he said both of them are garbage, he said, I was sitting there just like you sitting there like this. And I said, okay, I got it. He said, what is that guy? He said, that guy don't even sound right rapping. And what's that sound in the back? And he was talking about the beatbox. I said, well, that's called the beatbox. He said, what is that? And he said, and this guy, what is he? Well, I don't understand. I said, okay. So I found an independent distributor. I did a deal with him. I let it out. It exploded. He seen me in the Roxy, the owner of Profile seen me in the Roxy when the record was playing on fire, super fire. He came up to me and said, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, yeah. He said, I got to tell you, I was so wrong, and I wanted to apologize because I was wrong. I said, no. You don't have to apologize. I said, you said what you thought was real. I said, I respect what you thought was real. I said, you were wrong about what you thought it was. I said, but I respect that you told me what you really felt. He said, man, this record is, I didn't even really understand it, but I get it now. He said, get it. He said, do you think we could sit down and have another conversation? And I said, well, I'm already doing something, but down the road, if the opportunity arises, we should sit down and kick it. And I said, but I said, but sometimes you got to keep your mind open because sometimes, just because, it seems different, it don't mean that it's whack.